asking how old is not you. Is this a question? Is that if you're new to meditation? Ah. Yeah, this means like if you're a beginner. If you've never done meditation. But also feel free to ask me anything about meditation if you like, Kesha. If you're already advanced, I so much honor your questions if you have any, or if you want to discuss something, or if you want to see my view about something, or request my view about something. Please feel free to do that. I very much would honor that, of course. Right now, feel free to join in, everybody, if you like. Again, we're going for 25 minutes and then 5 minutes of Shavasana. I will instruct you, I will guide you into the practice, and then afterwards I will be quiet and we hear each other in 30 minutes again. Let's go, let's start. Start. Oh god, I need to change the batteries after. Let me quickly check. Yeah, I need to change the batteries after. Let's start. Into a wonderful sit. You can sit up in a chair, down on the floor. If you're sitting down on the floor, sit up on something. Good job. Make it comfortable for yourself. And let's start. Start to observe your breath. Observe your inhale. Observe your exhale. Maybe feeling that your inhale is slightly a bit colder than your exhale. That your exhale is slightly a bit warmer than your inhale. This is everything we want to do in this meditation. At any point in time, if you lose the connection to your breath, you realize that, slowly come to your thought. Connect to your thoughts. Observe your thoughts. And let go of your thoughts without pushing away your thoughts. So softly releasing your thoughts, coming back to your breath. Coming back to your breath. This is all what we are going to do in this meditation. Knowing that this is your journey. So one day you might be completely absorbed by your thoughts. And that is completely alright. And one day you might be completely focused on your breath. And that is alright. It is your journey. Honor your journey wherever you are today. Please feel free to change your sitting position at any point in time. If you like to get out of this meditation before we're closing meditation together with, or if you like to follow me, but we're closing at 25 minutes and that's too long for you, then please feel free to come out of it and just lie down on the floor when you want to come out of it. For about 2 to 5 minutes, just lie down on the floor, releasing meditation. And then coming to whatever task is next for you in your life. That said, I will be quiet. Hear each other in about 30 minutes, 25 minutes. Hear you then. One more time. One more time. Connect to your inhale. Connect to your exhale. From there, release everything. Come and lie down on the floor for 2 to 5 minutes. Keep your eyes closed if possible. Extend your legs. Bring your arms by your sides. Palms are pointing up. Feet are facing away from each other. Tuck your chin in a little. Have your eyes closed and just let everything go. Letting go of everything. We'll get you out of this again in about 5 minutes. Ease your breath completely.
Welcome to your doom.
Start to move your fingers. Start to move your toes. Start to move your ankles. Move your wrist. Move your elbows. Move your knees a little. Move your hips. Bring your arms over your head. Stretch your arms, stretch your legs, stretch the right arm, the right leg, stretch your left arm and your left leg. And from there, if you like to yawn, yawn. And then shift yourself to one side and come up by your side slowly. Good. Slowly come up. Hi guys. Puts a little smiley in there. Welcome. If you're still in here. Patrick. So Sant Bimbam. Patrick says in German, ich komme halt auch immer rein, wenn Meditation läuft. This means like he comes always when meditation is running. Good morning everyone. And he says also need to go to work now. I will stay and lurk but can't concentrate on the chat. That's okay. That's okay. So good to have you, Patrick. I wish you a wonderful work day if you're still here. Take good care of yourself. And we see each other in the next time. It won't sound so hard when I talk, sure. Yeah. Have fun and see you next time. Yeah, definitely. So, you're still here, so it's okay. Dear friends, we're now changing it up. As promised, we're coming into a little bit of physical practice this time. And I'm so grateful that you're here, Patrick, as well. So I hope you have a wonderful day. On this Saturday you're working, hey, take care, here and there a little break. Good, But yeah, need to change to other PC and keyboard now. Okay, that's good. So Patrick, take good care of yourself, and thank you so much for your support, for you coming in and saying hi and hanging out with us a little bit in the meditation. Again, what we are doing today, I'm not completely sure where we're going into the physical practice right now, but we're starting the physical practice right now. And yeah, you take good care of yourself and everybody else in here. My name is Marcel. We're teaching yoga here every day. And right now we're coming into the physical practice. We just started with meditation. I like to start with meditation. Then we're doing some physical practice. And then maybe we sing in the end as well. So good. Take good care, everybody. Also Patrick, if you're heading out. And right now, let's start the physical practice. We're going for 30 minutes. The timer is running. And everybody, please stand up. Please stand up. Come to the front of the mat. Bring your hands up. Bring your hands up by your side. Get long from your feet to the top of the fingers to reach. And we're starting to just warm up with some wonderful sun salutations, because I love to do them. Beginning of the yoga lesson, just reach up from your feet to the top of the fingers, pull your belly button in a little bit, and then breathing out, folding forward. Bend your knees as much as you need. Breathing in, lifting halfway. Get long from your hips to your head. Breathing out, folding forward. Place your hands on the floor, push into the mounts of the fingers, claw your fingers a little bit, and step back. Downward facing dog. Breathing in deep here. Come forward and down. If you need to put your knees down, put your knees down. Bring your elbows 90 degrees to your body, coming into Chaturanga. From here, release your hips down to the floor. Release your body to the floor. And think forward and up. As you're lifting yourself forward and up, your elbows are pointing back to your thighs, to your feet. Your head is in line with the spine, meaning that our head doesn't look up to the sky here. Very uncomfortable, but your head is in line with your spine, an extension of your spine. Feel the stretch in your lower back, if you can. Maybe you don't feel anything, it's okay. If you don't feel anything, you can press your feet into the ground, knees into the ground, and draw the belly button in and up. Good. From there, shift yourself back to downward facing dog over your knees. Tuck your toes in. Push your hips up into the sky. Take a deep inhale here. Look between your wrists and start to walk forward and up. Bend your knees. Bring your hands to your hips. Elbows pointing upward. Stand up with a straight back. Inhale. Light back bend. Engage your belly. Breathing out. Folding forward. Inhale. Lifting halfway. Exhale, falling forward, place your hands down, stepping back, or jumping back, as you like, downward facing dog here. Inhale deep, and forward and down in your way. Inhale again, lift forward and up, deeper this time, if you like to go there. How you're doing that is think forward and up. When we're down here, we're thinking forward and up as we're pulling ourselves up. Think pulling forward as well. And bring your shoulder blades onto the back together. Our head is in line with the spine. Push your knees into the ground. Push your feet into the ground. Toes as well. Pushing into the ground. Drawing the belly button in and up. And shift yourself back. Downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale here. Look between your wrists. And start to walk forward and up. Good. Sean can also sit here a little bit more relaxed. Hug your elbows, swing a little bit left and right. If you're new to this practice, welcome in. If you have any requests, let me know. If you have any questions about yoga, let me know. If you just like to have a little 30-minute practice today, a live practice, feel free to join. Have a great time. Today, I think we're going for a little bit of inversing the blood flow, at least like bring your hands to your hips, elbows pointing upward, bend your knees, and stand up again. Bring your hands up, get long, from your feet to the top of the fingers again. Get long, and release. Feel how your body feels right now. Kick yourself out a little. So what I mean by inversing the blood flow, we want to let our feet be also in the air a little bit here and there, but also like forward fold as we did just now, like letting a little bit of the blood flow into our arms, or maybe even like just doing this. Bring your arms up into the sky, right? It's a little bit different. Instead of having the legs up into the sky, you have the arms up into the sky right now. So what's happening here when we have the arms up into the sky? And just shake your legs out a little bit. Because it's very an unusual position to have the arms up like this, right? It's very, very unusual. And it's refreshing, you know? It's refreshing to do certain things. And yoga is especially here, at least also from my view, from my opinion, it's here to do certain things that we're not doing usually. So we want to look maybe even like a little bit strange here and there as we're doing certain things, you know? And that's okay. That's okay. We want to look strange. We need to look strange. So we can look even better when we're not doing strange things, right? And it's of course not about the looks, it's more about the feels, you know? How does it feel? Release your arms, shake your wrists out, shake your elbows, shake your shoulders. Smile a little. And looks and feels go hand in hand, by the way. But again, I think feels are way, way more important than looks. It's not an Instagram competition, you know. It's not a picturesque competition. It's more. But hey, a feel competition. If you could take a photograph of how you're feeling instead of how you're looking. I mean, again, it's like Instagram and all the filters take the authenticity out of it, you know? Does it make a little sense? Shake your wrists, shake your elbows, shake your shoulders. Good to have you. Interlace your fingers, circle your wrist. Circling your wrist, feel how your elbows are moving, feel how your shoulders are a little bit of moving there. Release, shake your wrist out. Bring your hands together again, bring your other thumb in front and circle your wrist again. And maybe feel free to circle into the other direction. Really trying to interlace your fingers super softly here. We're not clawing with our hands. Not clawing with your hands, there's no need for it. Or you can also try, if you're super soft, you can also try one time to claw and feel how that feels if you're using more energy. It feels very uncomfortable to me. Shake your wrist, shake your elbows again. Good job. From there, bring your right thumb up, turn it to the outside. Fingers are pointing down. Grab on from below. Grab onto your thumb, pushing out from your shoulders. Fingers are pointing down. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, release. Other side, thumb up, turn to the outside. Fingers are pointing down. Grab on from below to your thumb. Push out from your thumb now. Get long from the shoulders. Take a deep inhale. That is meowing again. I don't know if you hear her. Good job, everybody. Release. Shake your wrists out, shake your elbows, shake your shoulders. Good job. From here, you bring the wrists together here. So bring the wrists together. We start to circle with our wrists. So keeping your wrists connected all the time. Connected, connected, connected. Connected, connected, connected. Circling your wrists. Very great exercise. I like it. We are connecting a little bit with our wrists. Doing some more exercises for our shoulders. For our neck. Maybe even a little bit for the jaw there. But then we're also going to inverse the blood flow a little. So if you're in for that, feel free to join. Connect with your breath as well again to it. Also change the direction if you haven't already. Keeping your wrists connected to each other all the time if you can. Feel free to also bring your hands maybe a little bit more up. See how that feels. Being curious about how this movement feels. Release. Get your wrists out again. Good job. Good job, good job, good job. From there, bring your hands forward and up. Claw your fingers in. Clawing in. Really clawing and opening up. Claw the fingers in. Open up. Clawing in and open up. Good job. It's not like flappy fingers. We're not doing flappy fingers. We're doing clawing fingers. Really clawing. Think about you're gripping something really hard and clawing the fingers completely in. Good job. Keep it up. You got this. And go on 10, 9, 8, 7. Push out of your shoulders. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Release. Shake your wrists, shake your elbows, shake your shoulders. Doing a great job for your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders, and bring your hands up. We're making a fist. Claw your fingers in, make a fist. Move your wrist up and down. Our fingers are vertical here. Our hands are vertical. So you kind of like, as you would be clapping, make a fist and move your wrist up and down. Good job. From there, if you like to intensify, you can bring your thumb in between your fist. Grab around and move your wrist up and down. Be careful here, don't push too far. But feel in to how it feels before going as far as before. Good job, release. Shake your wrist, shake your elbows, shake your shoulders. Good. And from here, bring your shoulders forward, upward, backward and down. Forward, upward, backward, down. Forward, upward, backward, down. How does that feel? Deep inhale, connect to your breath again. Try to relax your neck a little bit, wherever it is. Push yourself maybe a little bit, not too much though. Smile. Good. Release. Shake it out. Shake it out. Good job. From there, we're going a little further to our neck right now. And in the end, we're coming also to Tadasana. I like Tadasana. You know, Tadasana is very, very deep if you're doing it in a certain way. And we can also then control our shoulders maybe a little bit more and so on. So first of all, before we going into the neck exercises there, we want to connect with our shoulders a bit more. So what we're doing, again, it looks a little bit strange. Turning myself a little bit to the side so you can even see it better. Bring our shoulders forward and up. Engage your shoulders. Engage your shoulders here. Pull your shoulders up. And then slowly, this is the exercise, release down. Feel what kind of muscles are engaged. And what kind of muscles you can release right now. This is the exercise. You want to connect with the muscles. Engage your shoulders again. Maybe bring your shoulders a little bit more to the back. Engage your shoulders a lot, a lot, a lot. From there, release again. Release completely. Feel how you can relax your shoulders a bit more. Every time we are repeating this exercise. Feel how you can relax your shoulders a bit more. Let's go one more time. Pick your shoulders up. Engage them a lot, a lot. Feel how you're engaging all the muscles. Holding your shoulders up. And from there, release your shoulders again. Feel how you can relax shoulder muscles more. Good. Good job. Now, when I'm telling you, relax your shoulders, you know what to do. That was kind of like the whole exercise. Connect a little bit more with our shoulders right now. So we can now work on our neck more. So what we're doing, you can do the same, by the way. You can give yourself a little bit of a massage. Bring your hands up. Give yourself a massage on your neck, your back. Just how it feels good to you, you know. Good job. And from there, release. And look over your right shoulder. Try to release your shoulders as much as you can. And from here, we're not pushing with our head to the right side. We're just looking over your right shoulder. Take a deep inhale here. Deep, 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 deep. And exhale, looking over your left shoulder. What we're doing here, we're breathing in so deep that we're using the breath as a tool. I'm explaining more in a moment. Take a deep inhale again. Relax. Change the side. So, as we're taking deep inhale, we're making it so deep that you maybe feel some stretch throughout the body. Maybe it creates somewhere in your chest, or maybe it connects up to your neck. Depends, you know. But it's not about putting too much pressure on like your neck as we're looking over you to your right shoulder. It's very, very soft. You're just looking over your right shoulder. Very, very soft. Taking deep inhale again. You want to work with your breath. Your belly, your chest. Release. Change around the other side. Same thing again. Take a deep inhale. Release. Come back to the middle. Good job. From here, bring the right ear to the right shoulder, keeping the chin a little bit back, so tucking your chin in a little. Feel the stretch from your left shoulder to your left ear. Take a deep inhale again. Try to release your shoulders as much you can. Don't pull your right shoulder up. Release your shoulders. And from here, as you're exhaling, release your head forward and down. Half circle. Left ear to the left shoulder. Feel the stretch coming from your right ear to your right shoulder. Deep inhale. And release your head forward and down again. Take your head up the other side. Additionally, if you like to put your arm around your head, feel free to do that. Or your hand around your head. And we're just giving we're not pulling down, we're just giving a little bit of weight from your hand there. But again, we're not picking the shoulder up, but release your shoulder down. Good job, everybody. Deep inhale. Release your head forward and down. No fast movements here. Take care of yourself, you're doing great. Other side. This is optional again. This may be just a too deep stretch for you right now. And that's okay, you know. Honor wherever you are today. And release. Your head forward and down. Pick your head up again. Shake yourself out. Jump a little bit. Let me check with the time. 10 minutes. That's great. So we're going into Shavasana. In Tadasana. Not Shavasana. No, not yet. But in a bit, you know. So, what we're doing is we're coming to a wonderful stand. Tadasana is also called mountain pose. We have your feet below your hips. And now it gets a little bit complicated. Stick with me. So, you know, do your best. That's fine. We're pushing your feet away from each other. Pushing your feet away from each other. Think about, oh yeah, what's happening if you push the feet away from each other in this stand. Then we're pushing the shin bones, the lower legs, a little bit together, keeping the first engagement of the first action of pushing the feet away from each other. Drawing the shin bones together. Now from there, engage your kneecaps, inward and up, so kind of like a little bit up. From there, you're turning the thighs inward and back. Inward and back, keeping all these actions that we just did. Now what's happening when we're doing this, turning the thighs inward and back, it's happening in your lower back. I'm kind of like trying to over-exaggerate right now. Our lower back creates around an arch. Creates an arch there. You see that? So if I'm not doing that, just keeping the other engagements, it kind of like goes away a little, right? If I'm starting to do that, turning the thighs inward and back, again I'm over-exaggerating a bit. You see that your lower back starts to round, and this starts to arch, and this is kind of like the natural arch that we kind of like want to work on. But we also, it's too much right now. What we want to do is draw the belly button inward and up. Drawing the belly button inward and up, engaging your belly, lowering this lower back arch here. But there's still a little bit of a lower back arch going on in your very lower spine. Good. From here, bring your shoulder blades onto the back together. Yeah, tuck your chin in a bit. Feel the length from your feet to the top of the head. If you like, bring your arms up by your sides, getting long from your feet to the top of your fingers. Long, long, long. Good job. Take a deep inhale, keeping all these engagements as good as you can. And release. Shake it out. This is Tadasana. Hope you enjoy it. Again, it's quite deep. So, and you will be, if you're doing it for longer time, you'll start to sweat and everything. It's definitely great practice. So we go into it one more time. all the actions. Hope they make sense. If you have a block and you don't exactly understand the thigh movement, you can put your block in between your thighs, and just what you're doing is pushing your block to the back. Pushing the block to the back. Think about pushing the block to the back by rotating the thighs. Not by just moving the block to the back, but rotating the thighs. That makes sense. So again, doing the same thing here. Feet are pushing away from each other. Shin bones together. Pull together. Engage your knees inward and up. Turn the thighs inward and back. Engage your belly button in and up. Bring your shoulder blades onto the back together. Tuck your chin in. And bring your arms up by your sides if you like. Getting long from your feet to the top of the fingers. How does that feel? Let your breath flow. Be soft and well be engaged. It's not just about being super engaged, it's also about being soft. And slowly release. Good job. So just to give you a little variation of like, oh yeah, you can use as well a block there, right? Shake your legs out, shake your wrists. Good. From here we're coming one more time back to our neck. Bring your hands behind your back, head, behind your head, and push the head to the back. And what's happening if you're doing that? Your chin gets tucked in, right? Try to have your mouth a little bit open, relaxed. Your tongue can be connected to your upper palate, the floor of the floor of the mouth, or the roof of the mouth, the floor. And then release one hand, for example the right, looking over the hand, pushing out of your shoulder, feel how your arm is engaged. Yeah. Bring the other hand back to your back head and push to the back of your head again. So if you know Warrior 2, think about Warrior 2 here as we're looking over your hand. Pushing your head a little bit to the back, tucking your chin in. Release, other side. Go slow, no need to hurry. Pushing out of your shoulders. Feel how your hand is engaged. Spread your fingers if you like. Looking over your hand, pushing your head to the back. Good job. Relaxing your mouth, relaxing your face, softening the skin of the face, smiling. Release, come back to the middle. One more time, push your head to the back. And release. Good job. Shake your wrists out, shake your elbows, shake your legs. Are you ready for a little bit of shoulder stand? So don't worry. It's not too deep, and if you don't want to go there, you don't need to. What we're going to do, or if you feel uncomfortable in it, you don't need to do it. We're coming to a wall right now, so feel free to follow along. Come to a wall. I've got a door here. And what we're doing is we're coming with our side of our body to the wall, and we're lying down on the back. Like this, we're rather close to the wall. I could have been even closer, so that almost like my butt touches the wall. Go as far as that if you like. And from here we already are in an inversion. And just feel in for you yourself. How does this feel to you? Does it feel good? And it's amazing. If it doesn't feel good, please come out of it. Good. If you have any further questions, always feel free to ask. This is variation 1. If you like to go deeper, you can bring your elbows close to your body, push them in next to your body into the floor. Fingers are pointing up. And then slowly lift your hips up. Grab on to your hips. Extend your legs. Good. From here, you have a lot of weight over your elbows. Our feet are on the wall. Again, what you don't want to do here, this is the important thing, we're not looking left or right here. We don't want to hurt our neck. We're not looking left or right here. This is a variation on the wall. You could also do it without the wall. There's no problem to do that. But if you're doing it without the wall, you need to know that you have more pressure on your elbows, more pressure around your shoulders. So the wall takes a lot of pressure away from the floor, you know? And then it's even more important to look straight up to the sky and really not look left or right. So feel free to come away from the wall if you like, but you need to know that then you really need to just look up into the sky and not left or right. Good job. And this is very much just optional, coming away from the wall. What you want to do here, because this is already like this on the wall, it's already very much functional. We don't need to go further. We're doing what we want to do here. And also if you're in variation 1, we're doing what we want to do here. So take a deep inhale here. Just a few more inhales here. Getting long from the shoulders to the feet, to the toes. And then slowly coming down, vertebra by vertebra, coming down to the floor. Good job. Shifting yourself to one side. And let's come to our mat right now. I hope you enjoyed this. We're coming into Shavasana right now, as we're already a little bit over time. We're just finishing it up with Shavasana right now. Extend your legs. Feet are facing away from each other. Bring your arms by your sides. Palms are pointing up. Tuck your chin in. Close your eyes and just be for a minute, and then I'll get you back out of it again. Have your eyes closed. Keep on lying on the floor. Keep on lying on the floor. Deepening your breath. Start to move your fingers. Start to move your toes. Whenever you're ready, coming back to your body, drawing your knees in towards your belly, and shifting yourself to either the left or the right side, coming to lie down on your side body. In this side body position, release all the tension, softening the skin of the face, releasing all the tension in your tongue, in your jaw, in your neck, in your shoulders, oh the shoulders, in the arms, in the elbows, in the wrists, in the fingers, in the chest, in the belly, in your hips, in your spine, in your whole back, in your legs, in your knees, in your ankles, in your heels, in your toes. Release all the tension throughout your body. Take a deep inhale here and nurture your whole being with this deep inhale. As we're exhaling, feel how the gravity of the earth carries you, holds you, takes care of you. Feel safe. Your next inhale, sit up. Come up on your side and sit up in a final sitting position. Whenever you arrive, take your time, no need to hurry. Whenever you arrive, bring your hands in front of your heart together. Bow your head in front of your heart, honoring your physical practice today. Namaste. The emptiness inside of you recognizes the emptiness inside of you. Release your arms. Opening your eyes, welcome back. Welcome back. From here. We're doing a little bit of breathing practice at any point in time. If you have any questions, please let me know. And we're doing a little breathing practice right now. Then we're doing some mantra singing. If you'd like to join into that. And then we are going to learn more about the tattvas, mainly about the Maya. So there's 6 wheels or 5 wheels. Maya is kind of like the title over it. And yeah, it's funny that it's called Maya. So M-A epsilon A. I think the A's have some kind of apostrophe over it. So we learn more about them in a bit, and super interesting, so definitely listen in. And if you have any questions, always feel free to ask. Good. From here, let's do a little bit of a pranayama exercise, breathing exercise. We're doing a square breathing, just a little square breathing. At any point in time, please feel free to change your sit. If you like to sit up in a chair, that's fine. If you like to change your sit, please do that. Make sure it feels comfortable to you again. Really, really important. And from there, close your eyes. Start to breathe through your nose. At any point, this following breathing practice would become suffocating to you. Please feel free to come out of it. And we're starting in a moment. Take one more deep inhale together with me through the nose, then we're starting. So take a deep inhale with me. Exhale. And inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Inhale again. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Inhale again. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Continue on your own. You can count up to 8 to 12 to whatever number you like. I will join in as well, and we are going to see each other in about 1 or 2 minutes. And release. Come out of it. Back to your natural breath. See how you're feeling right now. Either a direct coming out of it, usually also guided by like saying something like breathing in and then releasing. Let me quickly change the battery. Hope you can still hear me. Yeah, you can. Good. So, let's come to mantra singing, shall we? If you're excited for mantra singing. I always am. I like mantra singing a lot. A lot, a lot, a lot. Yeah. Wonder, which one are we going to today? I think we're going again with our Mahamrutyunjaya mantra. And I don't feel like, unless it's requested that I teach it. That I teach it in a way so people can follow along, new people can follow along. I won't do it. It's a decision I take right now because it's just very, very much exhausting to me, and it's kind of like not free to me to do it. If that makes sense to you as well. It's like it takes a toll on me to do it. I need to concentrate very, very much, but if it's requested, if you like to be able to sing together with me, and you have never sung before that mantra, then let me know, let me know, and we will do that, of course. I'll gladly do it for you. However, if it's not requested, I'm not doing it. It's kind of like the new little rule I have to make it a little bit easier for me here and there. And but again, you're very welcome to join in to sing together with me whenever you're ready. You can also, you can read the text and then sing along together with me. But again, I like to also tell you quickly about mantra singing. What is it even about? A lot of people are not telling that. It's about the vibrational quality. First of all, this is like the first thing, or you can say also the second thing. There's not really a ranked list and whatever. But there are two things. Vibrational quality, and kind of the vibrations that you create travel throughout your body. And maybe you will get some additional insights out of your body. Like, your body tells you something like, you know what? I feel stuck in my belly. You know what? My shoulders feel strange when you're singing, or something like that, And you can take this knowledge and then you can work on it and you can see how it develops, There's a lot of knowledge coming out from your body, and your kind of like possibility is to listen to that knowledge and to use different practices to do that. And for example, one of these practices is mantra singing. Of course, there's also just physical yoga practice where you also can do that, but it's of a different quality again. Good. Next to the vibrational quality that we had, there's a meaning of the mantra. The meaning here, this is the ultimate healing mantra. So we want to connect with death. We want to connect with death. We want to be able to let go of things that are not serving you anymore. Letting go of things that are not serving you anymore. You can connect to either the first one, to the second one. If you're just singing it for the pleasure, hey, you do you, But I also feel, I like to quickly tell you that, I also feel like that a lot of Buddhists, or at least from my view, that Buddhist people tend to connect more to the meaning of a mantra, and more like Hinduism people tend to connect more towards a vibrational quality type of resonance. So type of resonance. At least I feel at the moment like that with my view, but my view isn't necessarily a super experienced. So please take this with a big grain of salt. But maybe it leads you in a certain direction. If you'd like to join in, feel free. Let's start. Triambakam yajamae Sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva bandhanan Mrityur mukshiyamamritat Om Triambakam yajamae Sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva bandhanan Mrityur mukshiyamamritat Om Triambakam yajamae Sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva bandhanan Mrityur mukshiyamamritat Om Triambakam yajamae Sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva bandhanan Mrityur mukshiyamamritat Om Triambakam yajamae Sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva bandhanan Mrityur mukshiyamamritat Om Triambakam yajamae Sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva bandhanan Mrityur mukshiyamamritat Om Triambakam yajamae Sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva bandhanan Mrityur mukshiyamamritat Om Triambakam yajamae Sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva bandhanan Mrityur mukshiyamamritat Last time. Om Triambakam yajamae Sugandhim pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva bandhanan Mrityur mukshiyamamritat Slowly come out of it again. Slowly. Feel it through your body. How does your body feel right now? Release completely. Free to stretch yourself a little bit, give yourself a hug. From here, changing that a little. We're going into tattvas. We're going to explore a little bit the 36 tattvas. Yesterday we looked already into it a bit. So yeah, we've got three books here, 2 big books and one rather small summary kind of a sort, you know. And from here, oops, I didn't want to press that. From here, yeah, we're coming into tattvas. So if you have any questions, let me know. First of all, what are tattvas? So first question again. There are principles of reality. That's at least where we leave it at the moment. What we explored yesterday is the principle of Purusha, also the principle of Prakriti. Prakriti means energy and matter, so both of that. Energy and matter. Meanwhile, as Purusha means, in a way, spirit, but also like individual consciousness. It means individual consciousness or spirit. At least that's where we left it yesterday. And what we additionally found out is, oh yeah, this is the individual consciousness, right? This is like not tantric philosophy right now. Because tantric philosophy means we're connecting ourselves to one consciousness, believing that we're all living in one consciousness, or thinking about that. It's one big consciousness. From here, there is something in the way of like going from Purusha to Shiva, to being, feeling, connecting to one big consciousness, right? And these are certain wheels. And what are these certain wheels? And there's kind of like where we left it yesterday. So we're going now to figure out the certain wheels. We're going to read about them, going to connect with them, to see a little bit, okay, what's there exactly in the way of that? What's hindering? What are the obstacles? Finding a little bit more about them, right? And they're called, already what I know, they're called Maya. And I mean, I know more about them, but the thing is, I really want to do it together with the books. Why, you might ask why? Because like that I can make sure it's correct first of all, and I need to repeat the concepts, right? I need to repeat the concepts. So first of all, we're going to go back in these big books to tattvas, and then we're going to start from this book. Then we're going to read also in the smaller books about the Maya thing, right? Quickly need to find the right places again. So we are reading about Maya and 5 Kanchukas, I think it is. 5 Kanchukas, cloaks. And Maya is, first of all, here described as differentiating power of the universe. And then the 5 Kanchukas, or cloaks, or Kala, limits omnipotence. And this is like Kriya, creates limited agency or the capacity to act. So this is under Kala. Vidya limits omniscience. Jnana creates limited knowledge. Raga limits fullness of heart. Icha creates desire and longing to be full again. I'm not completely sure, like, exactly of, like, how it's written down here, but we're just reading it, and then we're going deeper. So it will make sense in a bit. If you can't completely follow, don't worry about it. It will make sense in a bit more, bit later. Niyati limits omnipresence, freedom of creative power and expression. Shakti creates fabric of space and energetic tapestry of causality. I think these are like opposed to Shakti and so on. Kala limits eternal awareness. And then again, Shiva creates time and the sense of sequential awareness. Interesting. Yeah, this is like, yeah, makes sense. Okay. So let's come a little bit to the bigger book, and we're going to look into that. Tattvas, where are they? Why don't I find them right now? Oh, here, Tattvas 124. It starts at 124. Good. Let me also quickly pull this up here, I think. Yeah. And by the way, we also talked about the manifesting and the liberating current. And again, let me see. Where did we speak about that again? I kind of like forgot it a bit. Where was that? Do we need to step back from that at the moment, or? So in one way we have Earth below, and we have, what is it? Yeah, consciousness above. Consciousness, or yeah, even like thoughts. And again, yeah, no, now it makes sense again. Yeah, this was like the Purusha and Prakriti thing. But where did I read about it? Where? Was it in front of here? Here! Okay, yeah, here I read about that. It's very important. The tattvas can be enumerated from the bottom up or the top down. Exactly. The top down order, Shiva so consciousness or awareness or whatever you want to call that, this ultimate consciousness, supreme consciousness, going down to earth is like the manifesting channel. And it's also like in here you can also see the within the chakras coming from the top, from supreme consciousness going down in a manifesting way, right? And then the other way around is like coming from a manifested state, so from the physical world up to thoughts, right? And these two kind of like ways exist, right? The bottom up order, Earth to Shiva, is the order of liberation or return to source. Good. And again, this was again what I wanted to reconnect with before continuing. because I think this is very much also central to the whole thing. And it's just way nicer written in here than or also displayed in this book compared to the handout here. It's just way nicer, like put in this book. Way nicer. So basically I should only look at this instead of like at this thing. So but again, it's good to see like different variations of like how it's written. And yeah, it's interesting. Good. So we have these tattvas, right? And we are going to quickly check in this book here. This is like the book with more picture in there. I think it's more made for women, to be honest. To just say that out of my heart directly. And this other book is more like, oh yeah, this is like a little bit deeper down into like, oh yeah, this is what's it really about. I mean, this is nothing wrong here. This book is nothing wrong, but it's more like it's jumping in one way. It's jumping, and also if I'm looking up tattvas, nothing comes up. I don't see it. You know, TRST, Tamas, Tantra, Tarot, Tart. Yeah, that's it. It's more like, I mean, there are tattvas in there, in this book, but it's basically not really mentioned. So the 3 gunas are mentioned. The 3 gunas is basically just Prakriti. Just Prakriti is mentioned here. And of course there is more mentioned in here, but it's just not ordered. It's just all over the place. This is a little bit strange, you know. But yeah, it's in one way ordered, but it's in another way not ordered. You see what I mean? In this book, it's like more ordered. At least that's what I experience. Yeah. I need to quickly grab a marker because I quickly want to mark something here again about the Shiva to Earth and Earth to Shiva thing, because I think it's very important. And yeah, let's go. Let's do this. And at any point, if you have any questions about these things we're doing here, please let me know. By the way, this is not religion again. This is spirituality. This is philosophy. And I have a certain problem at the moment with like, I will ask my teacher about, the thing about, what's exactly between religion, philosophy, this kind of like thing. She definitely has thought about that, and it's probably better if I ask her before I make myself too much of work on like, what exactly is it all about, like with the religion, spirituality thing, because it's of no use to me to make all these, to not be able to come to a very much a conclusion. I mean, I have my own conclusion, but I don't know if it's correct or not. And this is always a little bit the troublesome thing. I don't know. I have a conclusion, but I'm not sure if it's correct or not. And of course, if just somebody says yes, it's correct when I'm explaining, this is also not helpful to me, you know? If I'm explaining something and that other person is like, oh yeah, that's right, you know? Without really understanding what I'm saying, this is even more horrible. This would be really horrible, so I need to have a teacher that tells me like, oh yeah, you know what, maybe think about that, or think about that, or think about that, or you know what, did you see it that way? Kind of like this. And But again, the whole discussion about religion and so on, and it kind of like affects me. It's not like 100% clear to me, right? On like exactly how does it fit in? You know, how does it fit in? How can we deal with that? So on. Good, but whatever. That said, we're going now on to the Tattva Maya, and what exactly Maya is. So let me find this tattva and we're going to read about that one. Because we already know it's like explained over here, differentiating power of the universe. But that's it, you know, it's not further explained. And that's why you need a book like this, right? That explains it a bit more. Okay, it's maybe explained a bit more here somewhere. I'm not currently seeing it. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Almost there, I think. Maya. Here we are. So, again, we want to look over Maya, then we want to look over Kala, Vidya, Raga, Kala, Niyati. Should we start? I don't know why it's ordered this way. To be honest, I don't know why it's ordered. Okay, we maybe need to start from below. So to understand really what's happening in here, I need to explain again. It's a little bit difficult right now. To let you understand, should I quickly make a picture? I think it would be good if you had a picture next to what we're talking, otherwise you probably can't follow. So let me quickly take a picture of the book, and then I'm putting it on the stream, because that's like the easiest way I have right now to do it. And it will just make more sense. Just will make way more sense if we're doing it like this. So let me take a picture of this side here. Let me check if it looks good. It looks great. Good. Let me upload this to Dropbox quick. So let me get this. Boo, 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 boo. By the way, thank you, Aha Yoga, for following. Appreciate that. And let me see, which picture is it? Is it already up there? It's already here. Good. Let me quickly. Can I quickly open it with edit? Let's just quickly crop it, you know. Looks a little bit better right away. Crop. Save. Should be good. Let's just put this in here. Good. Web. Can you even read it? Yeah, you can read it. Put it like maybe like this. Does it make sense? Could also put it on the background there. Shall I quickly put it? Okay, let's take it over. Let's go over to the background. I quickly copy it. So put it in here. And let's put it here. What? Should be... What? Why is the green screen so bad? Wait. What happened? Wait, this was the wrong button. Did it just shift it a little bit? Okay, here we are. Now it should... Yeah, now it should be okay, I guess. Now it's in the background. I think. Yeah, it's in the background, yeah. Now I can point on it. That's cool, right? Ah, good. That's way better. And, of course I can't draw on it or anything, but that would be cool as well, but hey, that's how it is, right? Good, so figured that out. So now you maybe can follow a little bit better. Hey, you know. So we're currently, what we did here was down here so far. This is Purusha Prakriti, right? Purusha and Prakriti. And you see, oh yeah, there's much more below here. But basically, where we are going right now is here. Here, these. This is the Maya thing. The Maya thing, and we're figuring out these Niyati thing, right? Niyati, sequential time, also Kala, Raga, Vidya, Kala. Going over them and also connecting to Maya. Doing all these today, and then we're going a little bit further. And in the end, I'm going to make probably most likely a video about it. Yeah, seeing where we can take that. By the way, this image comes from this book here, Tantra Illuminated by Christopher D. Wallace. So shout out to that, right? Good. Okay, let's go. Yeah, problem is now I can't zoom in anymore. Whatever. It's okay, let's do it like this. So I'm looking a little bit smaller next to this big thing, you know. It looks fun, you know. So fun. Good. Let's go. Let's do this, shall we? So we're starting with the Niyati. Casuality and localization. Let's see what that's all about. And again, repeating, these are like sheaves. These are like disconnecting ourselves from the one supreme consciousness, right? Let's see. Our wheels, not sheaves, they're wheels. Oh, it's all like... Let's go here. The 5 shells or wheels, kanchukas. Though we have been so far proceeding from the bottom up, it doesn't make sense to discuss the kanchukas that way. So we will proceed to tattvas 7 through 11, then move on to 6. Okay. 7 through 11, then move on to 6. The 5 kanchukas unfold directly from Maya, tattva number 6. They are usually discussed as the wheels that contract Shiva's self-awareness into that of the limited individual Shiva. I pronounce it. However, in the original tantric tradition, the understanding is this. Prior to manifesting himself as a limited individual, fully expanded Shiva first contracts himself down to a single point of absolute limitation, Anu, shedding his omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence completely. Then in order to manifest as an embodied sentient being, he equips himself with 5 limited capacities. These are the Kanchukas. Okay, again. Then in order to manifest as an embodied sentient being, he equips himself with 5 limited capacities. These are the Kanchukas, and the term literally means shell or armor. For these are the capacities necessary for experience and action in the world of duality. Oh my god. For these are the capacities necessary for experience and action in the world of duality. However, it is true that Kanchuka can also mean covering or veil, and the most common way of presenting the Kanchukas is as the coverings that conceal the fullness of divine reality. Thus we can say that Shiva plus Kanchukas equals Shiva. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's written with J. Individual soul. And where's the individual soul? Can you see it on this picture? I wonder if it's written on this picture or not. Yeah, but it's like makes sense, right? Shiva is like up here, like, right? Light of consciousness, and then we're having down here, I can't really see it here, the Kanchukas, right? And like combining them, we have the individual consciousness, right? Individual soul. Note that when I say Shiva above, I really mean Shiva Shakti. But the problem with pronouns makes it easier to talk about Shiva. What? So, is it like the problem with pronouns is like, oh yeah, because it's a him, and Shiva Shakti is a it? Do I understand that correct, or? And Shiva Shakti isn't feminine or masculine? Ah, these pronoun stuff is just like. Let's just go on with that. So we're coming to Kala. This is the fundamental Kanchuka. The others all follow from God's self-imposed limitation on his power of action, his omnipotence. Note that Kala does not mean powerlessness, but rather limited power. Kala is in fact that principle which animates the individual soul's capacities to a greater or lesser degree. Each of the five Kanchukas, far from being a negative force, is the limited form of a divine power. We seek to cultivate them, expanding them through spiritual practice. Thus Kala, in its fully expanded form, is simply Kriya Shakti, the power of divine action. Note that in all other contexts, Kala also means a sliver of the moon. That is, the amount that the moon grows in a single day. On the spiritual path, we are waxing from a mere sliver of divine power toward the total fullness of our capacity to express our innate divinity. important is that each of the 5 Kanchukas, far from being a negative force, is the limited form of divine power. Let's read the rest again one more time. We seek to cultivate them, expanding them through spiritual practice. Thus Kala, in its fully expanded form, is simply Kriya Shakti, the power of divine action. Note that in other contexts, Kala also means sliver of the moon, that is, the amount of the moon grows in a single day. On the spiritual path, we are waxing from a mere sliver of divine power toward the total fullness, the capacity to express our innate divinity. Good, let's go on. Tattva number 8. Limited power of knowledge. Limited power of knowledge. Why power of knowledge? The second wheel is not ignorance, but incomplete knowledge. The problem of this Kanchuka is not that we know nothing, but that we know a little bit and assume that that is all there is to know. The shell, Kanchuka of Vidya, protects us by allowing us to understand something about our world, but when we believe that we know what life is like, that we have an understanding that is more or less complete except in the trivial details, when in fact we are seeing only the tiniest fragment of the true reality. In this case, we disallow the possibility of divine illumination, as I once read in a college philosophy book. When a man looks at the horizon of his own knowledge and believes he sees the horizon of knowledge itself, then he is truly lost. Yet this very limited knowledge that binds us to a contracted experience of what reality is itself simply a limited form of the divine power of knowing, our Jnana Shakti. Thus it's usually not the case that what we know about life is simply wrong, but rather that it needs to be situated in a larger context, integrated into a more all-encompassing vision. On the spiritual path we seek to ever expand our understanding. This may be why Abhinavagupta calls this same power Unmeja Shakti, the power of unfolding. This unfolding is fueled by our intention, our practice of self-aware reflection, supported by the contemplation of the scriptures and the words of our teachers. But in an expansion of our limited power of knowledge, we of course seek to move beyond words to an inner knowing, an embodied experiential knowledge that the word-based understanding of the intellect can only approximate. Okay, sure. Agree. The thing is, what I feel when I'm reading this is like that. Yeah, definitely makes sense. But also, if these things wouldn't be there, like these limitations, life wouldn't be possible in one way, because you would be completely overwhelmed by things all the time. So it's and it's also a computer science thing of like, again, like, or also this clock here, it's in one way it's limiting, you can't do everything with this clock. I can't play games on the clock, I can't look up the emails on this clock, right? But I can stop time with it, I can do certain things with it that are very, very much specialized. So again, saying that limitation is not a bad thing, right? Also for this clock, because it's not distracting me, right? It's not putting me on a certain direction where I don't want to go. And of course you need to know for yourself where you want to go with like your knowledge. Where do you want to have more knowledge? Where you don't care about what do you don't care, but there's a lot knowledge behind it. You can't do everything in the world. This is also like coming together on like a critical fact that drove me towards this path that I'm on here. This is like very, very easily is like, hey, if I'm working and I don't know how to handle my money that I earn, so Why do I even work? You see, because other people know how they need to treat their money, and so they need to work less, right? Of course, if it's your duty, whatever, then it's fine. But if you're just working to have the money, and then it's another view, right? Because then you want to be able to treat the money in a certain respectful way. So it's kind of like doing something, and you're not getting like, you kind of like getting an equal share out of the money. The money doesn't lose value over time. That's what I'm saying, right? So if I can make sure that the value doesn't go down of the money that I earn, why do I even work? You know? So basically, I'm earning nothing because the value just goes down. You see what I'm saying there? Oh, it's like not valuable for me then, unless I need the money at the very time, right? Or I spend the money at the very time, because then it has the most value, right? And the understanding of that is like, yeah, why do I even work? Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for me to work if I don't need the money right now. I can do something better. I can do something that I really want to do with my life, right? So practicing yoga, teaching yoga, doing these kind of things. Maybe not earning much money right now, but at least I'm getting the skills, learning something. I'm learning about this, you know. It's kind of like the direction I want to go in, right? And it's very much limiting. So yeah, I'm limiting myself in other ways, right? But it's a decision, and definitely there's a limiting fact to it, and I think there will be. Yeah, let's just go on and see where this takes us right now, and I also wonder where there is like a certain amount of control in it, in kind of like you as a person being able to control these things, or saying like, oh yeah, you know what, let's go this way or let's go that way, or is that already implied within these texts? So let's go on. Let's come on to Tattva number 9. Again, Tattva number 8 was Vidya. So knowledge, limited power of knowledge. And we're coming to Tattva 9, desire, raga. When the fully expanded consciousness contracts into the form of an individual, it experiences itself as incomplete or imperfect, and therefore desires whatever it thinks it needs for completion. This desire is called raga, most accurately translated as the non-specific craving for worldly experience, in an attempt to fill an inner void. It is non-specific in the sense that it is a craving for something not quite known that gets rationalized as a specific desire based on each individual's life experience. For example, love, sex, admiration, money, power. But in fact, all craving is truly craving for only one thing: the fullness of knowing your true being. The fullness of knowing your true being. The fullness, divine consciousness. The fullness, divine consciousness. Therefore, when any other desire gets fulfilled, it is found to be unsatisfactory. The craving still remains. The literal meaning of the word raga is color. For like dye, these desires saturate and even stay in the mind, influencing how we see things and people. In the Tantra, however, desire is not a problem, but an opportunity. An opportunity to follow that desire back to the source and realize that what we really crave is fullness, wholeness, that we will be satisfied by nothing less than knowing and being our divine self. It has a typo there. Divine self. Thus we come to understand that raga is the limited form of the divine Icha Shakti, or the power of will, the deep impulse to express the fullness of our authentic being. From this perspective, desire teaches us about those areas of life in which we may need to expand and express ourselves more fully or authentically. We can choose to activate our Icha Shakti in those areas. We can choose to activate our Icha Shakti in those areas, flowing forth our intentionality from a place of fullness, not of lack. But as long as you are ignorant of the true nature of desire, as long as you believe that acquiring, attaining, or possessing something outside of yourself, whether tangible or intangible, will somehow permanently or incompletely fulfill you, you will continue to experience an insatiable void, an emptiness that cannot be filled, and an inexplicable angst that will burn you until the last day of your life. It is primarily this raga, our craving for more, that propels us into another birth and another round of suffering. But again, raga should, in the tantric view, not be rejected but transmuted. In the mythological tales, even Lord Shiva had an addiction to gambling and wine, a craving that he transformed into an addiction to shattering the fear of all beings in all worlds. The first step in such transmutation is tracing desire back to its source and realizing your... This is my alarm. Why is my alarm going off on Saturday, 11:30? Interesting. So again, I'm sorry for interrupting. So again, in the mythological tales, even Lord Shiva had an addiction to gambling and wine, a craving that he transformed into an addiction to shattering the fear of all beings in all worlds. The first step in such transmutation is tracing desire back to its source and realizing your longing for divine fullness. Letting that longing soften your heart and compel you again and again to seek true connection to the One, the Source. Yeah, this is deep. Desire. This is desire. The thing in here is, again, where's my... Didn't I get the pen? Let me grab the marker again one more time. Where did I put my marker? Do you see the marker? Ah, here. Okay. Under the paper. Good. Here. But in fact, all craving is truly craving for only one thing: the fullness of knowing your true being, the fullness, divine consciousness. So understanding that, yeah, it's like, this is deep, and to really be able to understand that, you need to kind of like, or if you really want to resonate with that, or really think about, oh, is this correct or not? Does this really feel good to me or not? Is this really true? You probably really need to sit down and let this sink in, right? Because this is deep stuff, you know? This is deep stuff. Good. So we're now coming away. We're already looked at, we're looking at the 5 shells or wheels, the kanchukas, right? And we looked at the limited power of action, the kala. We looked at limited power of knowledge, vidya. We looked at desire, raga. And right now we're going to look at time, kala. The fourth of the prerequisites for embodied experience is time. Agree? Yeah. Again, remember, it's kind of like coming away from the one consciousness, right? That is the supreme consciousness, right? We're coming down into an individual being, right? So we believe that there's one consciousness, and we're coming down into an individual being that is you, right? And you have, like this, the first sentence, the fourth of the prerequisites for embodied experience. You're having this embodied experience, so for that you need time, is time. Instead of timeless simultaneity of absolute consciousness, for which the entire universe is a single complex creation, including all times, embodied beings generally experience time at the slow crawl of 1 second per second. Yeah, whatever. This also means that we experience time sequentially. Okay, yeah, this is probably more important. This is also means that we experience time sequentially, with one thing following another in a process of continual change. Though some tantric sources tell us that change is a mere appearance, and what really happens is that the goddess Kali devours the whole universe each instant and then recreates it anew in a slightly different form, hundreds of times each second. Okay. We are often burdened by our awareness of past and future. And again, the goddess Kali, it's like destruction and creation again and again, right? And you can the time span of like where you define, oh yeah, there's destruction and there's creation. You can set it up for yourself whenever you want. So you could say, yeah, you're dying every time you're going to bed, and you're kind of like feel like reborn every time you're waking up, right? For example. But the time in between these time frames, they are here for you to pick yourself. You can be as short as you like, or you can even say like, oh yeah, you know what, we're creating something in this stream right here, right? So this like creation, we're creating something through the whole stream, and then when we are ending, it kind of like dies down, So these kind of thing. Okay. We are often burdened by our awareness of past and future, endless regrets and hopeful expectations, worry and anxiety. Yet it is because of that very awareness of time that we can grow. As the great German philosopher Martin Heidegger says, we are beings who always have our past with us and are always growing toward our future. That is what makes us different from the other animals. So as usual in tantric philosophy, the very thing that causes us suffering is also the means of our fulfillment. Once we shift our attitude toward it and our understanding of it. Let me read that again. That is what makes us different from the other animals. So as usual in tantric philosophy, the very thing that causes us suffering is also the means of our fulfillment, once we shift our attitude toward it and our understanding of it. We do not seek to be entirely in the present moment the way animals are, with no conscious awareness of past and future. Rather, we seek to be centered in the present moment, aware of our past behind us and our future ahead of us, while being free of the four modes of escaping the experience of the now: guilt, reverie, fantasy, and anxiety. Okay, anxiety is also written down as worry. This is to transcend time even while being in time. again, remember we are at the time thing. You see it over here, right? And under Maya, Kala, called Kala. Good. Let's go on here. When you look at the yeah. Yeah, it's a great chart. It's a great chart. It's hard for me to explain right now. Maybe I can explain it a bit. When you look at the chart, if you're like most people, you'll acknowledge the stress and disease caused by guilt and worry. But think there is nothing wrong with nostalgia and fantasy. Yoga psychology challenges this notion, telling us that losing ourselves in fantasy is as detrimental to us as being obsessed by worry, because fantasizing is equally effective in removing us from full awareness of the present. This is super important. This is super important. This is also the thing about thinking about, connecting with something positive, or always only wanting to connect with positive things, right? So if you're doing that, you're kind of like, you're pushing yourself in that direction, and in the end you always want to increase that level even more, and in the end, what happens if there's just a little tiny drop, or if there's a big drop, let's say, then you're really deep down, because your level was up there instead of like maybe in the middle, and so it kind of like creates more waves if you try to be always positive, if you try to always have these good vibes, right? And there's nothing really, there's nothing really wrong with good vibes, but there's something wrong with too much good vibes. Because it really sets you up for a deep fall. And there's struggle ahead, There's struggle ahead. It has to be in balance. So it has to be a certain balance. So if you're going through life and you're really struggling, so you need to have some kind of balance, You need to have some certain kind of coping thing in there. I agree with that. Even though if you don't struggle that much, if you're keeping it in line with, like, think about that. Think about you're going effortlessly through your life. Think about you're not really, you're glad how it is, You're doing your best. You're not really. Sometimes you're a bit angry. Sometimes you're a bit happy, But it's like in between. You're not making a big peak down and staying down there for too long, and you're not going up there and staying up there too long and then risking a big fall. And also, if you're staying too much long there, then these really big waves start to happen, and you're and this is like borderline disorder, right? Is it called borderline disorder? Now I'm sometimes I'm just under. I think it is. And the thing is, like, this is nothing to joke about, right? And to be completely true, honest here and authentic, I don't completely understand it, like borderline disorder, but I feel it within myself, and I know it has to be horrible for people who have that. And However, I'm not in the position to be able to understand what these people are going through directly, because I just have like this. Yeah, I have a mild version of it, you know. I understand this mild version, but I don't have any idea of what these people are going through, that are going through like this manic and depressive phases that are way stronger than my little ones, you know. And still, this is what we're talking about here. This is what we're talking about here, of like these things, right? So let's read it one more time again. I hope you could follow a little bit. When you look at the chart, if you're like most people, you'll acknowledge the stress and disease caused by guilt and worry, but think there is nothing wrong with nostalgia and fantasy. So just to quickly explain it to you, nostalgia and fantasy is more in the plus point. Negative points are the guilt and the worry, right? Guilt and worry, nostalgia and fantasy, right? It's kind of like a little chart there. Yoga psychology challenges this notion, telling us that losing ourselves in fantasy is as detrimental to us as being obsessed by worry, because fantasizing is equally effective in removing us from full awareness of the present. The present is what is real, and it is what we are called to respond to. In fact, the only way your hopes for the future can ever become a reality in the present is by carefully attention to the detail of the present moment. By carefully paying attention to the details of present moment reality, moment to moment. A more accurate perspective would be to accept that there is no future per se, but only a constant flowing present, which through close and reverent attention reveals its divinity ever more fully to the yogi. In this way, we can learn to experience ourselves as a whole being, with our past and future part of our present, without grasping toward either. This grasping takes four primary forms. In the past, we grasp towards positive memories, which is called nostalgic reverie, and we grasp after painful memories in the form of guilt and regrets. We grasp future imaginary possibilities, which is called fantasy, and future negative possibilities, which is called worry or anxiety. These four different forms of grasping are all ways we depart immersing ourselves in the fullness of the present moment. So when we let go of the four forms of grasping, that is how we let past and future become part of the present and experience the fullness of the present, which has much more to offer to us than the mind could ever imagine. In this way we can become free of the net of time, entering into internally flowing simultaneity. Nityodita. Okay. So the thing is, it explains, okay, what you could think about doing, you know, even though it doesn't really explain it like, oh yeah, how to do it, you know. It just says like, oh yeah, you could do that, but however you want to do that, you know, it's up to you, kind of, right? And of course, it implies, oh yeah, there's the yogic journey, yogic philosophy, psychology, that could be of benefit on that path. So it kind of already like tells you like, oh yeah, you have a certain way there, right? On like achieving that, right? Letting go of past things that have happened, letting go of like future dreams that you want to achieve or whatever, to a certain degree, you know, how far you want to be able to let go. And of course it depends, right? there's also a certain part to me that says like, yeah, if you're really, if you're all really letting go or trying to let go of all these things, this is an enormous process, right? Or all these limiting beliefs. Of course, in the end, you kind of like get closer to enlightenment and so on, but there's an incredible sacrifice you need to pay there to be on that path. Which is completely, you let go of your life completely. Okay. So we have one more tattva. The causality should be again below the Maya. Let's see. It's a short one. Time was the longest one, the last one. Tattva number 11. Causality. Niyati. Niyati is the force that binds us to our karmas. It is the law of cause and effect that ensures we shall reap as we have sown. Because of Niyati, you are certain to experience the results of your own karmic actions, not someone else's. The karmic action is a morally charged action motivated by a desire or to attain or avoid a particular result. When we learn to perform actions as service or sacrifice, investing in the process but letting go of our attachment to the final outcome. Very important, again, I'm saying it again to emphasis, attachment to the final outcome. Those actions have no karmic charge and therefore do not bind us, whatever the result may be. Thus the liberated being is no longer bound by niyati, fate, and is free from karma, though he or she may still undergo the fruits of karmas accrued by for liberation. Niyati is also associated with specific place. Because it is your unique set of karmas that determines your location. That is, because of your karmas, you are born on the earth, living where you do, and not in some other city, country, or planet. Thus the inverse of niyati, or rather its full expansion, is all pervasiveness or non-locality, the tradition tells us. Okay. I don't understand the second part, to be honest. Don't completely understand the second part, but for the first part, so I don't understand completely the location part of it. The first part with the karmic thing, and I agree to it. This is like, it's not really, in one way it's helpful, in another way it's like limiting. Because you need to make sure that you're earning something, right? You need to make sure that you can make your living and so on, right? So instead of like really like doing an action and doing it not so that you receive something in the end, you're kind of like expecting something in the end, right? Because you're doing a certain thing. I mean, it's strange. It's super strange. In one way, it's clear to me that, yeah, you let go of of the final outcome and so on. But if it's kind of like necessary for you to get something out of it, so you can live, it's like it's probably not applicable to like Western society. You know what I mean? It's also like a little bit maybe too into too renunciate maybe it's like too much renunciate it's too much of away from like earning money aspects of life, and maybe looking at it of like, oh yeah, somebody who needs to earn something and so on, he has to have a living and so on. So okay, this is one part of his life, and then there's maybe another part of his life. How does he do it there? You know, does he also expect something in return for everything that he does? And of course, that's horrible, right? In one way, but yeah. So everything would just be completely transactional, and it's just like, yeah, in one way it is like that, but in another way it's also like, it's just not life. Sometimes sometimes you're receiving something from somebody without that person, that person, that you even know that person, for example. And the thing is that why is this beautiful is like, oh yeah, you see kind of like whole, you see the whole thing instead of like just a person anymore. And you see that, you know what, that person that you don't know, and you received something from that person, could be just the next person sitting next to you, could be anybody, you know. So it doesn't really matter who you pay it forward, but in a way it does matter that you're doing it anonymous, which is interesting, right? It's super interesting, and that you're not expecting anything in return again, which is like very beautiful, especially if you're thinking as about the like the tantric philosophy here of like, hey, yeah, you know what, that makes a lot of sense, right? But also like reading these things, it's also like you need to be aware of like one other thing. I like to look it up quickly. I have it written down somewhere. I need to quickly find it. It's in my mind for a long time. It's like about selflessness and being an authorish giver, a selfless giver. I think it's authorish giver. It's like where you want to be, but I need to quickly look it up. It's from a course from Coursera. It's the most it's I think the best course I took on Coursera, and yeah, it's just an amazing course, and I will look it up in a moment. But before we go there, we are going to the Tattva number 6, Maya, which is now the putting these wheels together, at least from my understanding, right? From the Kanchukas together. Now we come to the top of the hierarchy of manifest reality, highest principle that is not the absolute itself. In other traditions, Maya means illusion or delusion, but not so in Tantra. Maya is rather the world source, Shagad Yoni. The divine's power to project itself into manifestation. It is also the power of differentiation by which the one appears as many. Maya is not given as negative valuation in the Tantra, even though it does, in a sense, delude us into seeing duality where there is only unity. For seeing dualistic is a necessary part of the process of self-exploration that the divine has freely chosen by manifesting a universe in the first place. Maya is the power the divine uses in the creative expression of its nature. The paradox of Maya is that the power that creates the apparent differentiation that causes so much trouble is the very same power God that uses to glorify himself. Sometimes there's some kind of like little words that are written differently. Or wrong, at the wrong place. And you know, it's hard for me to understand sentences that are written wrong in English because it's not my first language, right? So I think there's that too much. But let me read the sentence again. The paradox of Maya is that the power that creates the apparent differentiation that causes so much trouble is the very same power God... That I think there's that too much. God uses to glorify himself. Maya is the form of the goddess that constitutes all manifest reality, blessing us with the opportunity for the more challenging and therefore deeper realization of unity and diversity. Look around you right now and see a flash of the truth. Everything that is happening is her play. Just as we form different ornaments out of pure gold and call them earrings, necklace, bracelets, anklets, and so on, in the same way, all things of this universe are made of one substance, the energy body of the goddess, and differ from one another only in name, form and function, not in essence. Okay. That was a lot today. Yeah, hope you liked it. A little bit going into tattvas. This was deep. This was a lot. We definitely are going to read it again, figuring it out again a little bit more. But also like, yeah, I can connect to the certain concepts. And also see that, okay, society is not really working in favor of these concepts here and there. And, you know, it's okay. But also like, acknowledging it, you know? Acknowledging yourself and that you have certain needs that need to be maybe fulfilled, especially if you're not a renunciate, right? So with that said, let me take a little paper out of like that course, and I wanted to quickly go over something else. I'd love to recap that, and I wonder where it is. I need to quickly find it. Is it maybe in here? Could be in here. Oh yeah, this is my big yoga ordner, yoga file folder stuff, whatever. Yeah, there's another thing that's interesting to me at this moment. So these are called, again, psychical tattvas, right? the 5 cloaks, right? Kala, Vidya, Raga, Kala, Nyati, which we have absorbed today. I'm not completely sure in like how they're connected to the 5 psychic sheaves. So but it's all almost like the same name, you know? But I don't think they have that much to do with each other, and that's where it gets a little bit complicated, because this whole yoga stuff starts to get so complex, you know? In a way that it starts to overlap, and you don't really see again, is this connected or isn't it connected? And basically it has the exact same name, like the 5 psychic sheaves. So it's a little bit, okay, that's a little bit different, of course, but it almost has to completely the same name. And it's like, yeah, sure, man, sure, whatever. It's just like making it complicated, you know? So it's kind of like hard to figure out if like what belongs together, what doesn't belong together, where are they situated in the map, you know, in the map of yoga, you know. Figuring these kind of things out would be great, just to have like a map of like, oh yeah, this is there, this is connected like this to this is connected to this like this, and so on, because it's just like things are just there in this map. Oh yeah, this is yoga, and like, oh yeah, everybody tries to I don't think really many people understand it completely. Yeah, you know, like, oh yeah, what kind of like yoga practices are there? What kind of like yoga practices are great for people? Or what, you know, kind of like all the beginner questions that beginners need to go through before they can go to a yoga lesson. Even they need to figure something out, like, oh yeah, what kind of a yoga lesson even to go to, right? These kind of things, you know. And it's like that the most yoga teachers are like, at least I feel like they're in their own thing, and then they're in their bubble, and then they're not looking outside anymore, and like, okay, what's going on there? Now, of course, I'm making this too big. Probably a lot of yoga teachers are doing that, I guess. But it's like, it seems to me as so far I haven't seen the effort putting in by somebody of like creating a map of like putting these things together of like in a map of like, oh yeah, you know, these are the tattvas, they belong there in this area, they're connected to that principle, and so on. And yeah, they're over there, they're the koshas, and there's Ayurveda, and Ayurveda came out of this Prakriti, and so on, and blah blah, you know. And you know, seeing a certain connection between these things would be really, really great. But I think it comes also with time. And also what I'm saying is like, yeah, the whole thing with like the different yoga practices that are in the world right now is like, yeah, there are many, right? So which are like great, which are like not so great. What should you do as a beginner, you know? This is like also another thing of like, what I really think like a yoga teacher needs to be able to answer like very, very competently, and in a way, or a real yoga teacher that has been practicing for a long time. And I mean, I'm a real yoga teacher, but I haven't been practicing for that long. So I'm currently developing at least that competency of like being able to say like, hey, yeah, you know what, yeah, this is a thing, but also have you tried out this and this and this and so on. And because it's way closer to the source, and all these other things, these are just trademarks, you know, you need to watch out a little bit there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, knowing the stuff that we teach. Yeah, and I haven't found the paper so far, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I haven't found the paper. I don't know where it is exactly. Probably put it in some other folder then. If it's not in here, I put it somewhere else in another folder. Let me see. Because this was like important stuff. This is important stuff for me. Or I have it like written down on my computer. This could also be that I put it into my computer. Let me quickly take a look into the computer. And let me see. Take a quick look into the computer. I wonder if I have written it down in here. It doesn't look like I've written it down here. Nope. This needs to be somewhere else. Just some loose paper. They were really, really important. Where do I have them? Yeah, I don't know where I have them. Here. Yeah, I found them. I will put it a little bit forward because it's more important at the moment. Maybe even put it outside at the moment. Thank you. Ah. Good. I'm taking it out at the moment. Good, okay. We have the paper here. Also, so... the important thing here... So this was from a Coursera course, A Life of Happiness and Fulfillment. And there's one... Yeah, all these things are so good. All these things are so good, so basically it's very hard to just pick something up from here that I want to tell you, but I wanted to just tell you a little thing here. So the thing is, you don't want to be a selfless giver. So what this means, you're giving more than you can afford to give. You need to include yourself in the giving. Now, as opposed to what you just read, this wasn't mentioned. This wasn't mentioned. Right? Do you remember? This wasn't mentioned. This wasn't mentioned. It's just like, oh yeah, you know what? Karmic actions, don't think about outcomes. That's it. It's also not mentioned about giving, you know. It's also, but it's kind of like, takes away like, oh, the outcomes. Okay, what does happen if I give this person something? You don't think about outcomes anymore. So yeah, I guess, you know, it doesn't respect it anymore, right? That kind of relationship. So I think it's led a little bit, you know, shaky there. Of course, if you're a renunciate and so on, if you're a monk, yeah, sure. You don't have anything to give to start off with, so yeah, it's less complicated. But in one way, yeah, I also wonder, like, who are these 36 tattvas for, you know? And especially if you like to go up to Shiva, is it then, does it speak to a renunciate, right? Because you can't do it as a normal human. And if you try, or as a normal human being, if you try, you will hurt yourself really, really heavy. So again, don't be a selfless giver. You need to include yourself in your giving. So what you want to be is an otherish giver. You want to be an otherish giver. They turn to their own goals as well. They are filters. They think about how can I help, but be efficient, finding more people and help them. So they say no at times, including themselves into the equations and having fun in the process. That's about it. That's what I wanted to say about that. Hey Munitz, good to see you. Welcome in. Have you already done the yoga lesson as you said, or are you thinking about, hey, maybe not today? Good to see you. So we just finished up a little bit of like philosophy stuff today. Having looked over it, yeah, this is also like something we have been looking at here. And right now we're going to change up the stream, and we're going for a little bit behind the scenes of like changing up the stream a bit. No, I just woke up, but in a bit I'll do it. So super awesome. Good morning to you, my friend. For me it's already noon, 12:17